What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Duel, back here with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about Diablo 4. Well, I've been playing a bunch of Diablo 4, as you can expect. That's why I haven't been putting out as many frequent videos. I've actually been working on a ton of video ideas, but for this video, we really just wanted to talk about the feedback of Season 6, the overall vibes, and a lot of the things that are good and what doesn't work. I'm just going to say right off the bat, overall, I think this season is very good. I've liked pretty much everything about it. Obviously, there's some things that I don't like that I'm going to talk about, but I just wanted to say on the whole, I think it's a very good season. So I have a whole list of topics here. So right away, we are going to jump right into this stuff. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the Dark Citadel. So the Dark Citadel, as you may not know, is a new dungeon type raid activity that is basically required co-op, and they've added like a party finder to the game where you can team up with your friends and go in and do this dungeon and fight bosses. And they have like these 3 wings you have to go do within a certain amount of time. Or actually, I don't even think it's time gated, but it's like it's team gated. Essentially, so you play together, you clear the wings, and then you get cool cosmetics. And so they added cosmetics for tier tournament 1 and 3, and then they gave you like the super ultimate awesome cosmetic for tournament 4. So I just want to say this is a really cool mechanic, and it was really fun to try to figure out what the mechanics were with my friends and trying to understand that. I still wish it was soloable, but overall I thought it was a really good dungeon. The only thing that kind of deflated my excitement for it is on the Diablo 4 stream on the campfire right before the season launched. They said that they showed off all the cosmetics you're gonna get for doing the Dark Citadel for Torment 1 through 3, and then Torment 4 they showed off the awesome cosmetics and then the mount. So if you go do Dark Citadel right now, as I'm making this video, and you try to get those, and you clear the Dark Citadel on Torment 1 and 3, 1 through 3, I guess I should say, and then Torment 4, you don't immediately just get the armor set. It's a random drop. And I really do not like this. I don't know what they were thinking with this. This is not fun. People wanted to hit Torment 4 and get the best armor set in the game. Just get all the armor. Like I don't know what they were thinking with that. I have. Here's the thing. I like playing this game mostly solo for the most part. It's hard to get all my friends on at once. I'm in my 30s. We can't all play at the same time to do the Dark Citadel. So, I feel like they should just make it static. You clear it once, you get the armor. That's it. That's how it should be. You get all the cosmetics or the pets or whatever. That's how it should go, and that's not how it is. And I think they need to fix it. I think it's a huge problem. It just nobody wants to spam do that dungeon, and also it takes a long time. Like if you don't have a solid build and if you're not running Spiritborn, which is the meta, and you're not running a broken meta build, that dungeon's going to take you a long time to do. And so random drops just does not feel good. So that's my opinion on the Dark Citadel, but overall I think it's good, and they can definitely add more things to it and make it a lot cooler and make it dynamic. Probably like a monthly thing. It's really cool. So next thing I want to talk about is the Undercity of Curast. I like this dungeon. I actually thought going in that I wasn't going to like it because it's a timed like dungeon type thing. But I rocked Spiritborn, and it basically destroys everything in the game, and I was able to clear it no problem. However, I will say I like going after the mobs that give you more time, and I like going after the shrines and the effects of like the animation that it gives you when you destroy a shrine. It just feels really good. However, I will say I kind of wish there was more variation to the Undercity. You just kind of do the same thing over and over. It's just like a timed dungeon basically, and then like the rewards just aren't very good. Like you have to have a tribute going in, and the game doesn't really tell you how you're gonna get tributes. You can't really farm tributes, and you can't like go, oh, I want to get this tribute, just go and farm this, or I want to go do that. Initially, I think they patched this, but the only way for you to get like the boss tribute, I forget the name of it, is by killing bosses. And so you were like on this infinite loop. You want more boss tributes for boss materials. You need to go kill bosses. Well, if you don't have the materials, then you can't kill the bosses to get the tribute. You see what I'm saying? So they did patch that, and they fixed that to where that tribute does drop more throughout the entirety of the game. So that's really good. But overall, yeah, I think the base Undercity needs to be buffed. I think the dopamine for the tributes are not that great. You kind of run through it, you grind through it. One of the main things that I've been doing during this season is, and I'll talk about this when I get to bossing, but is farming boss mats. And you know, I just sat there for like a couple of hours and just grinded out getting the boss mats that I needed using, like, I had like 20 tributes, so I just burned through them and farmed up a bunch of boss mats so I could go farm Duriel and get my mythics. And I think for that it's really good, but there's no like dopamine hit. There's no, what they need to do is like do like a, you know, like a crit chance type thing where it's like, oh, if you clear the dungeon X fast or under this time, then not only are you going to get, you know, the max reward that you can get, but then you get like, I don't know, 20 living steel, or you get 50 of the distilled fear, something like that, you know, like a crit chance type. Or don't even tell me, just give it to me randomly, right? That would be really cool. Like, oh man, all of a sudden I have a bunch of distilled fear, I'm going to go run and do Beast and Ice. So things like that, I think they could add. The dopamine just isn't there. It's not that you're not leveling anything up if you're max level, so you're kind of just burning through it. But yeah, overall I think it's good, and they can definitely add upon it. Infernal Hordes is definitely still my favorite thing in the game that they've added. However, I was kind of disappointed they didn't really change or add any boons or banes to the game in the Infernal Horde mechanic. I was kind of looking forward to them adding some things, but it doesn't look like they changed it at all. All they did was change the reward output. And unironically, that was bugged, so they had to fix that. But yeah, no. So what I want to see them is add more, you know, add more boons and banes, and kind of take us somewhere else and give us different mobs, maybe even different bosses, because it's just the same thing over and over and over again. But other than that, it's still my favorite thing of the game. It's a lot of fun. If I just want to sit there and blast mobs and don't want to navigate through a dungeon, then I don't have to. I can just blast monsters. So overall, I think it's good, but they just need to add more to it. That's really it. And so I wanted to talk about Helltide, because Helltide is still a bunch of fun. I don't think they really changed anything other than, I could be mistaken, but I don't think profane mind cages are in the game anymore. I wish they would keep that as a permanent mechanic. I don't know why that's a seasonal mechanic. They should have kept that in the game. I thought that was really cool. You don't even need. Initially, they made the profound mind cages so that you could up the level of the mobs in Helltide, but that's not necessary. They could just give them more health. You know, just scale them up, make them harder. Drop more ancestral loot is really what I would like to see, and we'll talk about that near the end. But yeah, Helltide's good. Make it, I don't know, add profane mind cages back. That'd be my thing. I love it. Bossing feels infinitely better this season. So much better. And I kind of talked about this a little bit. They have a tribute for the Undercity that you can just plug in to the Undercity and just sit there, run through the Undercity, and then get a bunch of boss mats and just farm them up, and then get ready to go fight all the different bosses. And unironically, I got more mythics this season than I've ever gotten. And then also on top of that, I got mythics from bosses that had a lower chance to drop mythics from. So I got mythics from Varshan, I got mythics from Beast and Ice, I got mythics from Zir. I think I got a mythic from every single boss this season, I want to say. So yeah, they might nerf mythic drop rates. I'm not really sure, but it felt really good to get the mythics that I need, because right now I'm working on my second character, which is my Necromancer, my Spirit Wave, which I'm actually showing a video of right now, and it's a lot of fun. I've got some work to do on it, but yeah, it's really cool to just sit there and, hey, you know, it's a little grindy to grind out those 20 tributes for Undercity, but I'm able to get the Starless Sky and the Shaco that I need so that I can start my ult, and it just makes it a lot more fun. And I really, really like that. So, yeah, so was talking about what's good. I'm trying to read through this list here that I have, and there's a couple things that stood out to me the most that didn't feel good. So the first thing I want to talk about here is really the pit. Pit, it's just, I guess you could just say it's just from the greater rifts from D3. That's it. There's nothing to it. You're updating you get a chance to upgrade your Paragon glyphs, and the Paragon glyphs don't really add, they just give you more damage, so you're just stronger, which is great if you want to push, I guess. But like at some point, pushing has diminishing returns for me personally, and I think that's going to be the case for a lot of people because they just don't have time to push. They're going to clear all the season content, finish the season pass, do the the Vessel of Hatred expansion, and then they're gonna go play another game. They're not gonna push unless you're just hyper obsessed with this game. You're just not gonna do that, and you have all the free time in the world. So I don't know. I don't really have a solution to what they could do to make the pit better than other than maybe adjust how glyphs work, maybe make glyphs more crazier. But I guess you could argue that's what runes are for. So with that, let's segue to talk about runes. So runes don't really, I don't know, they're just kind of there for me. It's not that they're bad, I'm not trying to shit on them. I don't feel like they really add much to the gameplay. Shit just dies. Like it just makes me stronger. And so hopefully they make it to where, I don't know, I kind of said this in a couple videos ago, but I wish, glyphs were more impactful. Like when you slap on 4 glyphs and you make a rune word, or 2 rune words, I guess, you should really notice it. You should really tell that, oh man, this is crazy what's happening on the screen. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. I just don't really notice it. And so maybe that's a problem that they should fix. So the other problem that I need to talk about with runes is the drop rate. The drop rate is abhorrent with runes. I played on my Spiritborn for I think 100 hours before I got all the runes I needed to craft the mythic uniques. And to me, there's 2 problems here with that. One, it's the rune drop rate. It sucks. They need to give us a way to farm runes, because it really seemed like the only way to farm runes was killing bosses, and then there's no way to target farm the runes that you want. They're just random RNG, so that doesn't feel good. So if you want Lith, I can't just go kill Beast and Ice a bunch of times and hope for God I get Lith. You know what I mean? Or Jaw. And so that doesn't feel good. Give me a way to target farm these runes. And it's either make the drop rate better or give me a way to target farm them. Pick one of those. That would make it a lot better. And then the other thing is that they changed that. Someone made a good point on the forums, is that they locked the mythic crafting behind runes. So you take your 2 resplendent sparks, and you take a combination of some runes. And then you make the mythics that you need. So if you didn't buy the expansion, you cannot directly outright craft a mythic. It's now at the blacksmith. I'm sorry. To craft with runes, you have to go to the jeweler. To craft at the blacksmith, you actually get a cache that you buy from the blacksmith with your resplendent sparks, and it's you get a random mythic. And that sucks. That doesn't feel good. I don't like that system. I think the random cache is cool on paper, but it's just more reasons to grind, like forces you to grind, and that doesn't feel good. And so for that, I think they just need to buff rune drop rates. That would make that a lot better. But then again, you're stuck behind getting those runes and not crafting them directly. But I don't know if they're gonna keep it that way, but it didn't feel as good. Luckily for me, I was able to get all the mythics that I needed, but it still doesn't feel great when you need specific runes. I will say that it did enforce trading with my friends more. I don't know if that was the intention, but it was like, yeah, I have like 8 tam and you have 9 ohm or whatever, and I need some runes to craft my mythic. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I think, the rune drop rate definitely needs to be fixed. So what's the other thing here? So the other thing I want to talk about is getting to Paragon 300. Getting to Paragon 300 takes a long time. I think Rob 29, I don't remember his username. Just look up Rob Diablo if you really want to know. I think he said it took him 185 hours to hit Paragon 300. However, he did mention that context of he was bossing a lot of the time, so it's more like 100 hours. and this is just from 200 to 300. So, and I can vouch for this. I'm currently level 250, and it is a grind. It's gonna take a long time to get to 300. Now, I will say they do give you a cool mount, I think, and they give you a title or something like that. So there is something like a little carrot on the stick for you to get when you get 300, but it's gonna take a long time, and I definitely think that Blizzard will. They will increase the speed of getting to 300. Maybe not super significant, but I think they'll at least buff it like 25% because it's real grindy, man. It's really really grindy. And so I don't like that. I don't think most people are gonna hit 300. They're gonna hit 200. And I will say that, you know, once you get to like 205 in level, you pretty much max out all the power that you need to clear all the content in the game if you're running a viable build, that is. And so, like, I'm talking Torment 4, you're able to just crush everything in the game. You're not like a god, but you're able to do everything that you need to beat the game. And that's all that you need, right? And then you log off and go play other stuff. So, I don't know if that was the intention, but I think that it's too grindy and they need to address that. And, you know, maybe you agree, maybe you don't, but, you know, that's my opinion on it. So, I'm trying to think, is there anything else in this list that I have? Oh, so one thing that we might be getting is a mid-season patch, and we might be getting the armory this mid-season. They mentioned it on the Diablo 4 podcast with Rax, Woody, DM, and Datmods. I don't know if it's actually going to come, but most likely my theory is that it'll come on Season 7. Let's see here. Is there anything else that doesn't feel good or anything else that I really, really liked? I mean, yeah, like I said, man, overall, I really, really loved this season. I didn't really care for the story. I don't play Diablo for the story. I play to blast, and I was able to do that. I was able to go farming. If I needed to go, yeah, let me just bring it back here. One of the things I really, really liked, or the main thing I liked about this season, is that anything that I wanted to do for the most part in the game, I could go do. I needed to go farm bosses, I would plug Undercity. If I needed just to farm some rings, I could go do Helltime. I could go do that. And if I want to go farm Duriel, I have the boss nest that I need. If I need crafting materials, I just farm Nightmare Dungeons. If I need glyphs, I would do the pit. And then if you need gold, you go do Infernal Hordes. So there's kind of an activity for everything in the game, for the most part. Like I said, it's a very solid foundation for the game, and I think it's in a very, very good spot. But yeah, Infernal Hordes needs work. Rune drop rate, they need to address that. And obviously, one thing I didn't talk about is the freaking Spiritborn. The Spiritborn is busted to you know, it's completely broken, and they definitely need to fix it, and I definitely think they will. There's two ways they could do this. One is bring all the power level of the other classes up with the Spiritborn, or they'll just take the Spiritborn and tweak it and bring it down back to Earth where all the other classes are, because the teeter-totter is this is Spiritborn and all the other classes are down here, right? It's bad. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna address that, what they're gonna do to fix it, but yeah, overall I think this is a very solid season, and I'm very excited for the future of the game. I can't wait to see what else they do and add, and I don't know if we're going to be getting another campfire soon, but if they do, then I will make a video and talk about that. But anyways, if you made it this far in the video, feel free to like and subscribe. You're not obligated to, but if you did, I would really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.